This was Baldwin leaving the courthouse. Let's watch. You see there with his attorneys as well there. A lot of media in Santa Fe, New Mexico on this occasion there. Let's listen. You see there some reporters shouting questions to him. And look at that very large media scrum there.
Your family here.
Are you happy to finally have your day in court, sir?
All right, this is new video. We haven't showed this to you yet. His wife there, Halyna Baldwin. You heard Jonathan Hunt there saying, does he think he will be a free man after this trial is all said and done? So like I said, jury selection is complete. We spoke with Jonathan Hunt there from Fox and Kennedy Hayes from Fox earlier today outside the courthouse in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And we're going to bring into the conversation someone who will also be covering this extensively, our friend there, legal affairs journalist Meghann Cuniff, and she joins me from Los Angeles. Meghann, good to see you. It's been a while here, but I know you have your eye on this trial. Of course, here on LiveNOW, we covered extensively the trial of Hannah Guiterrez-Reed, the armorer on the film set there in New Mexico of that film, Rust. We know she got an 18-month sentence after her conviction. Is this going to be a carbon copy of that, or are there differences at play? And Meghann, I think you might be muted there.
There are pretty major differences just because of the roles that they played. There is a standard for the involuntary manslaughter charge that is a lot of experts think is going to be a lot harder to prove for Alec Baldwin, because they can't just show carelessness or negligence. They have to show that he knew of the danger of what he was doing, and he cocked the gun and fired it anyway. So a lot of people think that's going to be hard to do when there's, you know, scene after scene of him firing the gun and it's a blank and nothing happens. So there's kind of a question of how would he know that it was a blank. But so it's the same case and same burden of proof as Hannah Guiterrez-Reed, but just the roles that Hannah Guiterrez-Reed and Alec Baldwin played in the movie were so different that it makes proving the case pretty different.
That's interesting, because I was speaking to a legal analyst on the air yesterday about that, about the causal chain. Hannah Guiterrez, now we know, put the live round in the weapon inadvertently, the prop weapon. But Baldwin was holding the gun on the set, and it went off. So that legal analyst, our friend Ken Balcon, told me he was further along in the causal chain. What about that? Is that going to be an argument?
Yeah, I can see that becoming an argument, and something that the prosecutors are definitely going to be focusing on his handling of the gun and whether he even needed to cock the gun when the scene didn't call for that. So I think there could be a definite focus on that. I think there's a lot of ways that the testimony could kind of lead the defense and the prosecution narrative, but I think we're going to be seeing a lot of things covered in the trial for sure.
Yeah, and Meghann, same judge, same prosecutors here, but Alec Baldwin, he's got some high-powered attorneys on his side, doesn't he?
He does. Alex Spiro is well known. He's a Quinn Emanuel partner in New York City and represents all sorts of celebrities, including Megan Thee Stallion in some current cases. And he's litigates a lot in federal court, has done some stuff for Elon Musk. So yeah. I don't think he has experience in front of a New Mexico state court jury for a criminal case, but he was in jury selection today, and those skills are so transferable from court to court and from trial to trial that I think Alec Baldwin has every reason to feel good about his representation.
What about his chances at either acquittal or conviction here? I mean, should Alec Baldwin really be seriously concerned and worried that he could serve jail time over this? We want to talk about how high profile he is as a defendant, and also the timeline of how we got here. I mean, Meghann, you followed this so closely. This is prosecutors' second attempt to try Baldwin for what happened on the accidental shooting of the film set Rust here. So they got a second shot. What are their strategies going to be, the defense?
Well, I think the defense is trying to show that he was acting in regards to all the safety protocols that he knew, that he had no reason to believe that the gun was loaded, and that he was acting normally as he would in the role that he was playing. So I think that they're going to be doing a lot of letting the prosecution do the talking on a lot of this stuff, and then responding to that by trying to show how different his role was compared to Hannah Guiterrez-Reed. And then also one win they did have is prosecutors are not going to be able to talk about his role as a producer. And that was, I think, a pretty central part of the prosecutor's case, was that as a producer, he had this added responsibility, but the judge actually pushed them away from that. So the defense has already scored some early wins here.
You know, that's so true. We've been reporting on that as well. Now jury selection complete. So this is really going to get underway. We were seeing some reporting. This isn't going to last very long, 10 days minimum here. What else are you watching for? Obviously, the big question is, will Baldwin, you know, take the stand? If he does take the stand, will he show remorse? You know, will he explain himself, recount what happened that day? That's what I'm looking for. What about you?
Yeah, whether he testifies is, of course, a huge question. And then I'm interested to see what is the tone of the defense, and how defensive is the defense, and then how conspiratorial is the defense. Because in Hannah Guiterrez-Reed's trial, we did have some hints or some implications that perhaps somebody had planted these bullets, and we had a lot of different ways that the defense went there. That I'm interested to see how Alex Spiro and his team approaches the defense narrative here, and how aggressive they are in that regard.
All right, Meghann Cuniff, as always, we're going to be relying on you a lot throughout this trial. You're always so great, and we'll talk soon.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
All right.